post-show. What a show it's going to be after an incredibly memorable final, one of the best I've ever seen. There was fire, both surfers just flexing their progression. Julian Wilson fighting so hard for the win, almost got there, but Toledo, he couldn't be denied. He was brilliant today, and he's been brilliant throughout this entire event. He's back in a big way. Here he is, making his way towards the podium through a massive crowd that persevered through rain squalls, through wind and sunshine at different stages, but they made so much noise for the world's best surfers. And I can't wait to get stuck into the highlights, but so much to talk about. I'm trying to remember a final as competitive as that one. I mean, it wasn't just the surfing that was on point. Julian Wilson really frustrated at one point. They had it out verbally, and then the post-final interview with Copper, the ski got flipped. Unbelievable. Richie Lovett, Felicity Parmentier, great to have your company, and what a show that was.
Oh, it was. Where's the defibrillator?
Mate, who needs one?
Calling that final, seriously, that was amazing stuff. I think I echo what you said. I'm trying to remember when I've seen a final like that. I think back to Pipe and Andy and Kelly going at it, different sort of excitement, but this was progressive surfing, innovative surfing at its all-time best.
Flick, in the late 70s, Peter Druin unveiled head-to-head surfing here. He said there'd be blood on the rocks. This is exactly what he imagined, and that's what we got. It went right down to the wire.
Oh, in every aspect of that heat, the words that come to my brain are you not entertained? That was incredible from start to finish, and we were saying too before, Ron, it's one thing to go at each other in the water, but another thing for it's easy to do that when the performances aren't there and you're getting frustrated. But the performances were completely there from both surfers. They just kept pushing each other, and Jules said it in his post-heat interview after he won the semi. Hey, Filipe is going to bring the best out of me. I know we're going to go for it, and they did.
Yeah, it was amazing. We also had Bettylou breaking through for her first championship tour win. What a place to do it. And, going up against someone with as many CT victories as Sally, who knows how to close out an event. Bettylou just really made a statement with her first ride.
Yeah, showing a lot of maturity there. And going into that final, I did think, Sal has so much experience. She knows how to close. And for a youngster who's coming in and experiencing their first final, it can be overwhelming. It's like you've got one hand on the trophy. You can't quite get there, but Bettylou just executed Tommy Whitaker's plan to perfection. Wait for the best waves and don't hold back, and she did exactly that.
The stories that have been playing out in the last two contests have been amazing. We've seen spirited charges from title campaigners who've had horrible starts, like at Bell's, Griffin Colapinto jumping 12 places to get himself above the cut line. Here it was the story of, on finals day, in particular, Alejo Munez. He's jumped 12 places. He was in 28th position. But with the finalists, there's a lot of narratives there as well. Bettylou Sakura Johnson, she was below the cut line. She's jumped all the way to 6th place now. Yeah,
she was 13th before coming into this event. And to think now that she's sort of in that conversation of a Final Five picture is pretty incredible, right? And what that's done now, because we've had a different winner at every event, it's just things are really tight when you think about that Final Five picture, how wide open it is, and just how good the talent is on the women's tour.
Most definitely. We had Filipe have a really shocking start by his standards to the season. He hadn't bagged a decent result, but, you're kind of saying to yourself at every venue, Filipe's probably the favourite. And here on the Gold Coast, he just really tapped into vintage form, the form that's seen him take multiple event wins, obviously, and a couple of world titles. He had the highest heat score average on his road through to the final, Rick.
Yeah, just scintillating performances all the way through to the event. As we look at the quarterfinal bracket there, making his way through this morning against Iago Dora, and he just stood up from the word go. As we see him here, just streaking down the line, and this type of wave just suits him so perfectly, and he really had this air rev on lock, and the difference was that he was just rotating so much more than everyone else, and that point of difference was there.
He's been doing the work. Don't you think he looks a lot fitter than we've seen him, even in the first few events of the year? He's sort of been working himself back into shape, it looks like.
For sure. I think this moment right here will be forever etched into my brain. The moment here against Kanoa, one of the probably best waves ever ridden at Burleigh. I mean, he's looking strong, he's looking fit, but I mean, it was only a matter of time for Filipe, really, to click into this gear. You don't have two world titles for nothing back to back.
I think a lot of it had to do with just reconnecting with the motivation for competition. And we saw him at Bells bank an excellent ride, have a couple of great heats, but from the outset here on the Gold Coast, he's looked right at home and just seemed supremely confident.
Yeah, and, let's not just forget about the equipment either. I mean, he's been working so hard on his boards with the Sharp Eye crew. They were experimenting with a bunch of different things and upping the volume. But Filipe coming back down, wanting that sensitivity there. And, his equipment just looks magic under his feet, which allows him to perform the way he wants to.
Yeah, huge. The crowd here today, they turned out in force. Beautiful Saturday as far as the waves go, but the weather was kind of against us, but it didn't stop them from coming down, and they got treated to a fantastic show.
Oh, it was incredible, right? I mean, you just look at the heat total there from both these guys, Jules, Toledo, far out. I mean, it was amazing just watching them, the tenacity of both of them, the aggression, the assertive nature of both of those competitive. It was incredible to watch, and I can't really remember something like that. And like you said, Rich, unless maybe Kelly Andy is what comes to my mind. For
sure, yeah. I think it's a good reminder too for the Australian campaigners. We haven't had a world champion on the men's side since Mick Fanning 2013. You want to know what it takes? Grab some of that fire that Julian Wilson possesses and what he brings to competition. At one point there, Julian just looked so ready to own that moment. He just didn't get the section, it felt like, to really take to the sky. But it was a magic performance.
He was so ready to go. He was so switched on and back in that zone. He talks about being uncomfortable and sort of exposing himself to the world again, back on the world stage, open to criticism and whatever. And, geez, hats off to him for just stepping up and really connecting back into what he knows how to do really well. The form's there, and even in that final, just how invested he was and the little exchange. He really wanted to win this thing. He wants it bad. And if that's any indication on what he's going to do when he gets back on the tour, although he's, publicly said his expectations are way down here, but you got to think after today, maybe he's going to have to just increase them a little bit.
This is what the eyes of the kids on the Challenger Series are like right now. They're like that. They're bug-eyed. They're going, what is coming our way? Julian Wilson in rare form. A great run as the winner of the trials, but Toledo couldn't be denied. It's time to hand out some trophies. We're going to throw it down to Joe for the presentation.
Thank you, Ronnie. Hi, everybody. How you doing today? How good was that? What a finals day here on Saturday. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are unbelievable. Look at all these beautiful surf fans. You guys are insane. The Gold Coast providing. How good is Burley Heads? Well, this is the official awards presentation for the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro presented by GWM. It's the 6th stop on the championship tour, but it's also the 2nd stop on the GWM Aussie Treble. After stop 3, we're giving away a GWM Tank 300. And seeing the elite return to Burley Heads after all the history was unbelievable. I met a bunch of you out there. They're actually here in the 70s and watched the Stubbies Pro. Give yourself a round of applause, seeing so much in pro surfing from all these years. Peter Druin had the concept, in effect, to introduce one-on-one heats or head-to-head surfing. And that's still the structure of how we compete on the Dream Tour today. So big thanks to Peter Druin for having a dream and all the founding fathers of the sport that absolutely ripped this place to pieces. Big thanks to the Burley Heads Board Riders Club. You guys are unbelievable. Let's hear it for Liam O'Brien. How good was that? So many great performances to think about, but before I continue, the World Surf League acknowledges the Kuboomberry families of the Yugoomber language group, the traditional custodians of the land and waterways we are on today. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and future, and recognize their continuing connections to the lands, waters, and their extended communities throughout Southeast Queensland. We also extend this acknowledgement to other First Nations people that are joining us here today in person or on our broadcast. Thank you so much. We'd like to also extend our sincere gratitude to Bonsoy, giving it up for Bonsoy, the official title sponsor of this event and a major partner of the World Surf League. Frothing out all event. GWM, our presenting sponsors here for GWM, Experience Gold Coast and Tourism and Events Queensland. We can't thank you enough for all the great support. Thank you to all of our great event partners that make this possible, from Yeti, Red Bull, Apple Watch, Surfline, Stone & Wood, IC, Hydrolite, Oakberry, Fatboy Bikes, Coastal Real Estate, Boost Mobile, BioGland, Vissla and Florence, Marine X, Surfboard Empire, Ultimate Ears, Bond University, True Surf, Burley Pavilion, Triple M and CFM, SNS Group, the Gold Coast Bulletin. Those are all the great supporters of this event. Give up a round of applause to everybody. Thanks to the locals giving us the lineup. Thank you to the fans that watch here in person and all around the world. You really make a huge impact on events like this. And just the extension of the local community. We've been feasting at the beautiful restaurants and loving our time here at Burley Heads. We got some great people up here on stage with me. Let's hear it for Andrew Stark, WSL APAC president. This guy is in love with pro surfing, loves his job, and we are all lucky for it. Thank you so much. Big warm welcome to the stage, John Warren, Chief Executive Officer of Experience Gold Coast. Thank you, John, for hosting us so incredibly well. We've got Jim Wilson, the founder of Bonsoy. This guy is amazing to hang out with. Thank you for falling in love with pro surfing. Always the best time hanging out together. Jesse Miley Dyer, doing some damage on the tour, World Junior Champion before that, and officially the commissioner of the World Surf League. Let's hear it for Jesse. A lot of great people to come up here that gave us some just unbelievable performances. This guy has just been our hero for years in the Young Guns movie, Scratching the Surface, runner-up in the world in 2018. He's a pipe champ. The list goes on, but this is one of the greatest runs we've seen of this guy on his comeback to the championship tour. Introducing your runner-up, Julian Wilson. This guy represents all of you, Australia. Come from the Sunshine Coast in Coolum Beach. Went off tour on his own terms because he didn't want any more hotel time during that wild time in our lives. Why don't you come over here? That's a beautiful trophy. And this run meant a lot. And I really enjoyed every time you spoke about what you were going through. You were really seeing this through different eyes. It felt good. And what does it mean to win the trials, which made you emotional, and then to be on the podium, making the final at the CT level once again?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, thank you, the WSL, for giving me just a chance. And to convert it into what it's turned into has been a very memorable experience for me. The fans, the support that I've received coming back has been quite emotional. So thank you, everyone, for the support. It's yeah, it's not easy to step away from the thing you love, to prioritize your family and watch from the sidelines. And I guess yeah, these surfers inspire me so much. This is what I was born to do. My kids got to share it this week. It's been super, super special. So yeah, just super gracious for this opportunity. And thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to my wife for getting me back here and dragging the kids down with me every day, rain, hail, or shine. But yeah, enough about me. Congratulations to Filipe. The Brazilian crowd got me so fired up out there today. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. The battles, it always brings something out of me. Apologies for the bird, but man, you guys got me fired up. And thanks so much for everybody that, has got me back here. And it's truly one to remember for me. So I just, thank you all very much.
Julian Wilson, runner-up once again in the championship tour where he belongs, earning his spot, coming through the trials. I can't wait to see his run on the Challenger Series. Now, this incredible woman, we've been celebrating her career for decades, coming from the South Coast of New South Wales, 3-time world runner-up in her first final since 2021. Get your hands together for Sally Fitzgibbons. In 2009, she finished 5th in the world, 12 championship tour wins, and almost 30 final appearances on the CT, and so many finals here on the Gold Coast. You can put that trophy up real quick, Sal. Gosh, you are just the heart of Australian surfing, and we are lucky for it because you never say die. Keep on swinging, Sally keeps winning. And seeing you in a final was extra special. What did it mean to you?
Just looking at you all on the point and the rainbows and everything, I wanted to get it together so bad in that final. It was Betty's day today, but just to see you all just brought tears to my eyes, and I feel all that warmth, all that support and encouragement. It's been a fight and a grind the last few years, but I really want to be here, and my deep desire is to keep surfing for this country, for all you guys, my family's down here, my friends. This means the world to me, and I just want to fight for it. And yeah, it was nearly the best birthday present for Dad down there, but today was Betty's day.
Thinking about all you accomplished on the road to that final, the heat you had with Tyler, you got us in tears again with that emotion flooding out, and then to make it all the way through the big names that are kind of owning the tour these days. You know, go to that Tyler reaction that you had, and ultimately what you're most proud of this week.
Just like Jules, like this is 25 years of just story building with our competitors and being out there and battling, and yeah, we bring the best out in each other, and when that siren goes and I look in and hear all the cheers, like, oh, it's just the most exploding feeling. So yeah, if you guys want to keep going, I want to keep going, and yeah, try and get back on tour.
Enjoy the moment, Sal.
Thank you guys, you're the best.
Sally Fitzgibbons, runner-up. What a legend. Her first final this season. Expect many more for the rest of the year. Now, this man's incredible. Going back-to-back with his world titles. We missed him dearly last year, but he was just building up energy to show what he did today. Let's hear for your champion, Filipe Toledo. Where do we begin? Filipe, this run was magic. You've been open about trying to find rhythm. Boy, you certainly found it in this event. Getting so many excellent scores, and our favorite part was that big smile that we couldn't wipe off your face. That meant a lot, seeing your happiness and joy, doing your job, and taking a huge win. Take us through that emotion of pure joy, finding that magic run in this event.
Thanks, Joe. First of all, I just want to thank God, to bring me back here. Took the year off to take care of myself, to take care of my family, just like this man did. But I came back a little earlier than him. And it was definitely hard to get back and get going with all the surfers, everyone, so in tune, so ready for anything. And I was like, man, I gotta get back again, and it feels damn good to be back.
So much love out there for you, Filipe. A couple of minutes to go. What were you guys talking about out there?
A lot of fire. It was just a lot of fire, The rematch again after so many years, 10 years? Yeah, 10 years, sharing the final again here on the Gold Coast. the crowds are amazing. You know, all the Aussies, all the Brazilians. Yeah, you know.
You've done this a long time, Filipe. You got to enjoy every bit of this.
Hey, you know what? It's we're just super competitive. Me, Jules, everyone that's on tour, you know, we want to win so bad every time we're in a final. It's, as Julian said, you know, it just brings the fire out of us. And, you know, both of us now being a dad with kids, with the family, it's just, it was so funny, you know, looking back, just us like way younger and trying to go after our dreams. And now we're here with beautiful families, kids. And actually today is Koa's birthday. He's turning 7. So Koa, happy birthday, brother.
What a birthday present. Filipe, you're number 6 in the world, heading into the West. The rest of the calendar is in your favor with past history. Must feel amazing to officially enter the world title race.
Thank you. Obrigado, galera. Obrigado. To be honest, Joe, I'm not really thinking about rankings or where I am, or I just want to surf. And, you know, my main goal this year was just to make the cut. And I did that in this event, so definitely felt a little more freedom to surf and a little bit more relaxed. And yeah, I just want to thank the whole crowd here, all the Aussies, all the Brazils, everyone here did an amazing job supporting your surfers. Everyone, you know, that was out in the water that you loved. You guys showed a lot of passion, a lot of heart. And this is surfing. It's beautiful to see what you guys are doing here, and I thank you so much for you guys to be here. Thank you.
Well done. Parabéns, monstro. Muito legal. And real quick in Portuguese.
Todos os brasileiros que estão aqui, essa aqui é nossa, porra. Vamos!
There we go. There we go. Enjoy the moment, my friend. Filipe Toledo, your champ once again here on the Gold Coast. Now this young surfer coming from the island of Oahu, her first ever championship tour victory. Let's hear it for Bettylou Sakura Johnson. Bettylou has always had some fire, winning at Haleiwa when she was 16, just destined for this moment. And it couldn't come fast enough, dealing with the mid-season cut, redefining herself. Yeah, put that trophy up. You're the champion of the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, presented by GWM. Wow, you made that fun, Bettylou. Oh my gosh, that rivalry you have with Molly Pickham is wild. And we know, you know, it's been tough. Even that final at Sunset, you knew all that going into that heat. You guys pushed the sport. What was in your headspace to be able to just take control and completely close out Molly in this event?
Yeah, well, in that heat, I was just fired up just because I know I haven't gotten the one over Molly. But yeah, really stoked to just come over the top on that one and fall into rhythm into the final.
Making the final, you kind of had that same type of closeout rim that you had with Molly, where you were making no mistakes. What felt so clear in your vision of wave selection and also ripping these fun little rights when the tide was filling in?
It was really just to enjoy it all, soak in the moment, and yeah, just know that I can do it and trust myself and the abilities once I get the chance to get the wave. But yeah, I'm so happy.
The camera went right to your mom in the moment. Just tears of joy were flooding down her face. What do you want to say to her right now?
Mom, you are the best. I'm so grateful for you, and I would not have been able to do this without you. So thank you, Mom.
Is this everything you dreamed of?
Everything. Best day in the world.
Bettylou, enjoy this title.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Joel. Thank you to the fans. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Your guys' joy for surfing is so inspiring and so special. So thank you guys.
Let's hear it for Toledo Sakura Johnson, first ever championship tour win, and many more to come as she is fired up heading into the West. Let's hear it once again for Filipe Toledo, our finalist in this event, and we'll continue the celebrations right here with Stone and Wood. And Stone and Wood post show continues. We'll send it back to you, Ronnie, for the broadcast. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you, Joey. What a fantastic presentation. Some beautiful speeches there and a lot of tears, a lot of emotion. Everyone was feeling it. Rich, you were wiping the tears away, mate. We all were.
Oh, mate, how could you not get caught up in that? That was just amazing. You know, seeing both Julian and Filipe just so emotional and real honest with how they're feeling. And Sally as well. And what an amazing time for Bettylou. That first win is massive.
You know what I'm blown away with? That crowd. That was amazing. So many people still hanging around. It's dark right now. And it was heaving, so much passion, so much emotion, and so many people that are so inspired by these guys right here. So thanks to the fans.
Pretty cool moment too. Filipe mentioned that it was his son Koa's birthday, and the Brazilians in the crowd saying happy birthday to Koa, which was awesome to hear. But look at Filipe too. He just looks absolutely reinvigorated. We know that Bettylou is in the early stages of what is going to be an unbelievable career, but Filipe, a very interesting story, just trying to reconnect with the magic that he's given us over the years, and he's tapped into something special here.
Oh, has he ever? Today was unbelievable. That 10, I think, was probably the best wave ever ridden at Burleigh. It was insane in terms of high performance, right? I mean, you've obviously seen those big, long tubes here, but when you're mixing it in the air like that and with landings, how he did, so clean, so smooth, and just continued performances in every heat. He just kept performing. It was something incredible, and I think, like he said, it's been hard to sort of find my feet, but he's found them.
I got a feeling we might see that vision of the 10-point ride play a couple of times as we dive into some of the highlights. But we're going to start with Bettylou's road to the final. What a performance. And she really did have a tough run. Mentioned that she had the big heat with Molly Picklum to kick off the day. And she'd never beaten Molly in a head-to-head heat. So she overcame a lot to make her place in the semis.
Yeah, really sensible surfing from Toledo Sakura Johnson this morning, picking the best waves to get the edge over Molly, and you almost feel like that kind of just slingshotted her all the way to the final. And then it was Vahine Ferrero who she overcame in the semi-finals, then of course gets the win. But beautiful the conditions this morning, and you know, Betty's just surfing so well now. You know, she's a year ago you were like, it was a bit on and off, a little bit inconsistent, but she's tightened it up, and you kind of have to think that maybe Tommy Whitaker has something to do with that consistency. The wave choice has gotten better, and just her overall performances. You know, we've seen her in Hawaii really having some great sessions out at Haleiwa. The surfing's improving.
Well, it was Ross Williams that initially recognised her talent and got her prepped and onto the championship tour, and she did get some great results. Obviously, Ross spending time with his family at home now, and Bettylou needed some more guidance, so she went to Tommy Whitaker, and you know, it's all working beautifully with her evolution as a campaigner on the CT.
Not just that, you know, obviously there's been so much change. The boards too, you know, jumping on these Mayhems, the Matt Biola's boards, they're just looking so good under her feet. I mean, she's always had good timing, but today I feel she had an affinity with Burleigh, and her wave selection was on point. You know, you think about the couple of waves that, you know, her highest scores in every heat, just noticeably cleaner wave faces, just really beautiful bowl to them, and yeah, just beautiful moments for the family, for the mum, all the team, getting the first win.
Look, there was that interesting situation in the semi-final too, where she had priority and she was tactical in forcing an interference on Vahine. This is cutthroat. She's trying to save her place in the CT. She wants to be a Final Five campaigner. I don't think she needs to apologise for that, and Vahine will never again paddle into position without looking over her shoulder and seeing if she's in the way of her competitor. In the final, she was brilliant, dropping an excellent score. Just so powerful and able to repeat that power down the line here at Burleigh.
Yeah, no, she was really good in the final, really good on finals day actually. barely put a foot wrong, and you always want to win a final with a decent heat tally, and she did just that. So this will be a memorable one. It's one she will never ever forget, the first one, and to do it over one of the fiercest competitors on the women's side. You know, Sally Fitzgibbons is a veteran, but she is so tenacious and so determined. Great to see her get that second as well.
Getting that first win. There's only a few surfers now on the Women's Championship Tour that haven't had a Championship Tour win. Flick, do you think this is going to be one for Bettylou that just suddenly just kicks her into that winning gear? Do you think we're going to see her get a couple more now?
Well, we asked Laura, Laura was asking Bettylou on the post-heat interview, what does it feel like? You know, she's like, I finally know what it feels like to win. And she's like, it feels really good.
Yeah.
So obviously.
Her eyes lit up.
Yeah. So I think she's going to take this confidence, this momentum. And I mean, wins do amazing things. They send you into this sort of purple patch and you just, you get on a roll, so to speak. So heading into Margaret River, I mean, she's moved up to number 6 in the world right now. This win has done amazing things for her. So heading into Margaret River, a lot of power similarities, to Hawaii, Haleiwa there on that right with the bowl. She could be looking pretty deadly.
Yep. Yeah, she might just go back to back. But, man, we could have chosen from so many heats for the Boost Mobile heat of the day. But we opted for one that, we were lucky to get. And it's going to have to go to Stephanie Gilmore up against Erin Brooks. You've got the GOAT, the absolute queen, the most winning surfer of all time, the 8-time world champ, taking on the phenom, the rookie who was chasing a massive finish in this contest to get herself above that cut line.
Yeah, this was an amazing heat. We're all rubbing our hands together in the morning. Vaughan spoke to Steph and she's like, I'm looking for the tube. There's tubes out there. And, Erin, though, just went to turns and absolutely nailed it. Just so dynamic on the backhand, so fast, so whippy. The 9.43, backed it up with an 8.33. Just went excellent. But Steph, she dropped a couple of sevens and she looked amazing. I spoke to her after the heat. She goes, I got a bit obsessed with the tube. I was like, mate, if you're a bit deeper, maybe I reckon you could have been on your way. And she's like, nah, Erin just had me. She went to turns and I was just tube focused.
Oh, mate. Aren't we all?
Yeah.
But Erin Brooks, she was not just fighting, an unbelievable, or the very best forehand in the world, but she was also, fighting the size of Steph Gilmore's turns, and she's pint size, but she matches the world's best with her power.
Yeah, well, where Stephanie is just so smooth and graceful and has that underlying power, Erin's just got this real ferocious energy where she just attacks the lip. And, the angles were a little bit sharper than what Steph was doing today. And she got the judge's eye with that, especially on the backhand, staying right critical in the pocket. So it was a bit of a master and the apprentice matchup. And the apprentice got one up.
Yeah, 2 9.43s for Erin Brooks in the event. I mean, she's kind of looking deadly again, and she couldn't have come to life at a better time because she did want to take the pressure off at Margaret River. I think that will be a real test for her, that venue, because open ocean, a lot of bump, a lot of water moving, and we'll just see how she fares there. But she needed to relieve a bit of pressure. She's jumped a couple of spots on the rankings.
Oh, she's definitely done that, without a doubt. But there's been a couple of people that have relieved some pressure. So it's just everything is really tight. And, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do at main break. Like you said, Ron, it is a difficult wave to figure out if you haven't been there before. So looking forward to watching that one play out.
Again, we're kind of spoilt by choice. We got spoilt by choice for the Boost Mobile heat of the day. We went with Steph and Erin, obviously, but Mophie power moves. We saw plenty of them, but nothing bigger than what we saw from Filipe Toledo today. The 10-point ride. We don't get too many these days, but this was always going to go there. An incredible funnel rich, and then the big oop.
I think you're right, Flick. It's probably the best wave ever ridden at Burleigh Heads. It was clearly hands down a 10. Well, in this event anyway.
In terms of performance, obviously we've seen the Psycho big 10 to 15 foot roping tubes.
Exactly.
We have, but in terms of high performance above the lip, this was cool.
The Mophie power move of the event, and I like it because, again, just a demonstration by Filipe of what he brings to the championship tour. His 14th 10-point ride, but he just brings his very best performance. Every time he puts that jersey on, he competes with his heart. He just is so emotional out there, and mate, that was huge. Under pressure too. It was a big clash, and he got the job done.
Yeah, he just goes for it. He puts it on the line in those big critical moments, and there's there's not many surfers who have the confidence to actually do that. And he's one of them. You know, Medina's another one. Kelly used to do it as well, you know, and that's the recipe for the greats.
It is, and coming into this event, Filipe knocking on the door of the top 10. Let's have a look at the rankings after stop number 6, and you'll see that Filipe's made quite the jump, and he's pushing now toward that top 5 in 6th position, heading into an event where he could do extremely well and has in the past.
Yeah, well, he's won the event over in WA before, so he's very, very poised in that 6th position to make a jump and get into that 5. But you can see there, you know, in contrast, little slide from Ethan Ewing, little slide from Jack Robbo. Italo's still way out in front. You know, he's been at that top position all year. Yago sitting in 2nd, and Geordie maintaining in 3rd. It's incredible. This front page just looks amazing.
It really does, yeah. And after stop number 5, you know, we kind of had similar results, not too much shuffling around just based on the consistency of those surfers at the top of the ratings. But it's getting interesting now, Flick, and especially on the women's side. Have a look at the climb from Bettylou Sakura Johnson, 13th place, up in the 6th position.
Wow, this is massive for her confidence. It's massive for her. I mean, she was almost staring a couple of events back. It was kind of like, wow, okay, this cut's looming and Bettylou's career could be in jeopardy here, but she's well and truly saved it. She's up into number 6. You're kind of thinking, okay, heading into Margie's, I'm drawing similarities. You know, obviously she's used to that power, that open ocean. And then, you know, you look at the top 4, I mean, they're all in the 30,000 range. I just feel it's become more tight. You know, after this event, there were a few women that performed that really needed to save their position on tour. So everything's really tightening up, and it's going to make Margaret River even more dramatic.
Erin's Pulse won't be running as fast now. She's jumped up a couple of spots, but then Sawyer Lindblad, she dropped 3 positions. So there's some surfers that are really kind of going to be feeling it heading into stop number 7. But the interesting thing was Sally made the final, got a runner-up finish, and still didn't move a place. She really needed the victory to get herself above that cut line, so she will have to really produce. And she's another surfer that's got great memories at Margaret River, so it's going to be huge to see if she can get it done.
It's incredible to think that she hasn't moved with that, and I think it's obviously reflective of the year she's had so far, and she's open and she's honest about that. But yeah, Margie's, she's surfed out there plenty before, Australian titles, you know, QS events.
CTs.
She's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
In terms of the experience bank, she's got it all.
Let's have a look at the Whistler Shaper rankings now after this contest. It was awesome to have all these Shapers here, actually. Got the chance to have a chat to all of them. They're so competitive. And we've still got Matt Biolis on top with Lost, performing so well this season.
Oh, yeah, and it was a good acquisition of Lost to get Bettylou on the program, because she's done wonders for him in this event, and you can see Lost just way out in front at the moment. Sharp Eye, well, they're in the hundreds, so they're not too far behind, but perhaps a couple of event wins away. DH, Channel Islands, and JS. Mate, JS has bursted back onto the scene this year, and great to see him back on the front page.
Yeah, he's starting to collect some results. A lot of friendly fire for him throughout the contest as well, which was interesting.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and we also saw, even when you think about the Heritage Heat as well, you know, DH against JS, Mickey against Parko, it was all sort of going on through the whole event, which was great.
You know, JS is trying to get some points out of the WSL for that one to add to the Whistler Shaper rankings there. We're going to take a quick break. We've still got plenty of highlights to get through. Don't go anywhere. It has been a massive finals day here at the Bonsoy. Gold Coast Pro presented by GWM. The Stone and Wood post show continues in a moment.
The mid-season cut is here.
Big straight aerial from Robbo.
Seth Moniz, he's going to drop a bomb. He goes into low. That explosive backhand.
Deep into the tube. George Pintar.
Tyler Wright straight into a nice hook.
Clean read from Sawyer. Gabby Bryant with the Dolphins.
The Western Australian Margaret River Pro is the next event on the schedule. Stop 7. We know it brings with it a whole lot of stress for some competitors. For others who have got that momentum, they're fighting for the final 5, looking to get to the top end of the ratings. It's a very exciting event for another reason, but I can't wait to get there, Rich. It's so different to what we had here at Burleigh Heads.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, West is best. Just ask old matey over here and she'll tell you.
It's true.
Yeah, but incredible waves. Obviously, it's a different playing field than what we've had here, and it always brings some incredible surfing.
I can't wait to head back west, seriously. I mean, it just brings out the best performances, right? You have that consequential surf. I've looked at the long-range forecast, actually, and it looks like there's a bit of solid surf on the way. So, I don't know, with the box in play as well, I don't know, it's just such a fun event.
A little later in the season, too, this year, Flick, so always a bit more swell to look forward to.
Coming into winter, it's the end of autumn. We're still going to get those nice, glassy, clean days. Fingers
Taking
crossed.
the best? Taking the best?
Hey, maybe, yeah. Be some big paddling days. Why not? Take
Why
the
not?
10 out.
I'll be at the winery.
Mate, the hunt for the Tank 300, the GWM Tank 300 continues with the Aussie treble, the GWM Aussie treble. Let's have a look at the rankings. After this stop, Kanoa Igarashi has jumped ahead of Jack Robinson. So has Filipe Toledo.
Wow, what a mix-up here. Well, change-up is what I should say. Kanoa Igarashi in the lead, and we've got 2 events down, 1 event to go. So, you know, they're fighting out for that amazing GWM Tank 300. Incredible car. Amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Quite a bit of separation, too, between those top 3 competitors and the rest of the field. So, on the men's side, we'll see who hangs on for the victory. But, yeah, they'll be looking to basically push away the other contenders at the next stop. But Isabella Nichols maintains her position at the top, but she's tied for the lead now with Bettylou Sakura Johnson.
I think, you know, she's tied right now. You got to go to Bella and back her, though. She's had real success there. She's had a win. It was her first CT there. So she's got really good memories of that place. But, I mean, Bettylou just, tiebreaker with her, snapping at the heels. They're right there together. I don't know. I can't wait to watch it play out.
In the event of a tie, tell me we get a surf-off for the Tank.
Yes!
That would be so good. That would be amazing. I wonder if these competitors
or at least an arm wrestle.
They've got to be thinking about this in the back of their mind, don't you think?
Oh, it's just the ultimate bonus.
Oh, yeah, so fun. Anyway.
I love it. It's sort of like a nice reward for the back of a long stint away from home and chasing big results. And 3 very different events, aren't they? Like really unique waves.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. We start at Bells, we come here to the Gold Coast and then head back over west. So, you know, very different locations, very different styles of surfing at each one. And, yeah, that's why we love the treble.
We do. We've also loved our time here on the Gold Coast. We always do, but Burleigh Heads has really delivered so many highlight moments, and we're going to take in the BioGlan Daily Dose, our top 5 moments from the event, starting with Burleigh Barrels. And have a look at this one for Geordie Smith.
Oh, this was just incredible, right? I think Burleigh really was the show. It was like, a few questions asked. We're moving event site from Snapper to Burleigh. People were like, hang on a second. But Burleigh showed up in a beautiful way. The sand was here, Cyclone Alfred destroyed the bank at Snapper, and, it provided some amazing moments. Just look how throaty. It's such a tight little encapsulated barrel, and the guys just had such a good read on it. Jow there that we're watching. It was just so cool to see. Those just classic shots where, from the water, where you're looking into the tube, you see the hill in the background. This moment, these ones from the channel, from the water, such an iconic image.
Yeah, full gurglers down the point as it hit the bank, and the bank just set up perfectly at the start of the week, didn't it? And I just love the variety that Burleigh offered us. And when the tide was right, these barrels just started to come on show. And didn't our competitors just dine out on them? This was Lobby with this throaty one as it ran down the point. Full backdoor section there. Little foam ball ride. And he made it out, and didn't the crowd erupt. Their local lad. He just set the whole place on fire.
And that brings us to number 4. It was the local boy, Liam O'Brien, setting the fans into an absolute frenzy. He was on at the event. He wanted more out of the contest, but he's got to be happy with the performance.
Oh, Lobbyland was into an absolute frenzy. They were going crazy on the hill for him, just cheers. And, he put on that beautiful performance, and he can't be too unhappy, right? When you're performing in front of a crowd, it can go one of 2 ways, and he really lifted his performance.
Yeah, had a huge draw too, didn't he?
Oh, massive. Still the most underrated surfer on the tour, in my opinion.
Got the jump on Griffin Colapinto, and then Filipe went perfect. That's number 3 on our BioGlan Daily Dose. The big oop The landing was remarkable.
Oh, it was just incredible. It was sort of two airs. It was the big alley-oop air, and then the air drop back into the trough. Somehow gets through it. And he said there were angels under his board, just lifting it back down onto the wave. Remarkable in every sense, and so deserving of the 10.
Yeah, really solid. Coming in at number 2, our women's winner, Bettylou, breaking through for her first championship tour win over the veteran Sally Fitzgibbons.
Yeah, this was such a hammer moment. You know, she came out of the gates absolutely blazing. First wave, drops an excellent score, the 8.5, and really had control for the whole heat. And I think this is just going to do big things, obviously, for the confidence moving through. She's moved up to number 6 in the rankings, which is big time because you're kind of in the conversation now for sort of final 5 pictures. She's got a win under her belt. But no, I'm impressed. And, you know, we've been saying it took a little while for her to get it, but now she's got it and she understands the winning feeling. I think there's going to be no looking back.
Yeah, great moment for the family, great moment for Hawaii. Seeing the messages sort of pouring in already. A lot of people who've tracked Bettylou's career so far chiming in with messages of congratulations and support. She's a super talent. And now we just don't know how much of a threat she's going to be because she's got that winning feeling. She wants more. This guy's had it so often, but he had struggled through the opening stages of the season. But at number 1, Filipe Toledo back on top and getting himself all the way to number 6 on the rankings.
Oh, just a huge jump up the leaderboard for Filipe Toledo, and he caught fire. You know, 2025 has been somewhat of an inconsistent year for results for Filipe Toledo, but welcome back, mate. Welcome back to the winner's circle. Welcome back to fine form, and potentially looking at jumping into the 5 and having a crack at the world title once we get to the end of the year.
Was tied on 15 wins. One of the most winning surfers of all time with Martin Potter has now jumped ahead of Potts, and he's just one heat away from joining Gabriel Medina, Mark Richards and Barton Lynch now with 17 victories. Wow. So Medina, come on, mate. We need you back on tour. You want to maintain your position as the most winning surfer currently on the championship tour, but it was a remarkable performance and one of the best finals that I've watched in some time.
Yeah, I know, it was incredible. We love those finals where it's just excellent score after excellent score, both going at it, and kind of the lead changed a little bit during that final. That's exactly how we wanted to pan out. Huge score lines, and just the story was just perfect today.
Yeah, we love also seeing a new winner. Anytime you get a new winner, you know, it's another surfer in the mix who's a major threat at a contest. Bettylou's entered that conversation now, and also, as you said, Flick, she's knocking on the door of that final 5 picture, and with a big result in Margaret River, she'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, there was conversations. It took her a while to find this win. And, you know, she'd final before against Molly, and she got the second at Sunset, you know, a home court essentially, and that one's going to sting. So for her to convert in this final and get that winning feeling, taking it to Margaret River, I think we can expect big things.
Awesome. What's your big takeaway from this contest, Rich?
That pro surfing is in a really, really healthy spot right now. The level is just incredible. It's just when you think it's not going to go up anymore, it goes up again. We were blessed with waves with this event. Thank you, Burleigh Heads. Thanks to all the locals for having us. Mate, I'm fizzing. I can't wait for the next one now.
Flick, what about you?
Challenger Series contenders, watch out for Julian Wilson.
Oh, that's... yeah, it is. It's been an amazing story, hasn't it? The Julian Wilson story's been big. It's sort of captured the hearts of the crowd here. I think Australia as a sporting nation was wholly invested in that. But he was so classy on the stage as well, wasn't he? It was quickly to deflect the attention after he said what he needed to Filipe and his achievement.
Yeah, well, just an absolute weapon in every sense. And sportsmanship, you know, too. Even though they had it out in the final, there were a few chirping each other, you know. And we love to see it. It's fun. It's fire. It's passion. But, yeah, just the total gentleman, sportsman, you know, family men. They both are. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of his year unfold.
Has some of that fire been missing, Rich, from the CT? We haven't seen it in a while. I was trying to think back to when we saw that kind of passion and also surfers just, you know, going at it verbally in the lineup.
Yeah, I think it reflects just how much it means to all the competitors on the tour. And when we talk about fire, you know, let's think about all the people that have just started digging themselves out of a hole, you know. All these competitors on the lower part of the ratings, they've been fighting, and some of them have saved themselves in this event or put themselves in a really good position going into the next one. But with every jump, someone's got to go down.
Yeah.
So there's pressure everywhere, and this is just so fun to watch it play out.
And that just sets up the next event so beautifully. It is the Western Australia Margaret River Pro, one of our favourites. We all leave there carrying a lot of excess baggage. Can't wait for it. The food's incredible. The wine's amazing. But it kicks off May 17th. We're hoping to get underway, and the fight to stay alive on the championship tour is going to be on. So don't miss it. We've got so many highlights to tap into now from a fantastic event here at the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, presented by GWN, from Ronnie, Rich, Flick, and the rest of the broadcast team. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you in WA.
Gold Coast Pro World inside 4 minutes.
Ask surfers to clear the water.
30 seconds.
Looking at a glorious sunrise here on opening day.
Welcome to Burley Heads Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia.
It's a super fun wave. I love the spot too, it's super nice.
No point holding back. Hello, mate.
Oh, you gotta go, you gotta try this thing, you know?
We're on.
Yeah, we're definitely on.
Mahine drills it.
It's going to be a good number.
She's pulled in, just gets a little bit of a head dip here, watch it.
Erin was just ridiculous.
Sal knows what good surfing feels like.
Good looking wave here for Filipe. Stewart hucks it and lands it.
He's got some size, gaffs a big turn. Here goes Julian up and riding.
Driving calf. The crowd are loving his work. Ganoa goes to the sky.
Battle Royale, Mick Fanning, Joel Parkinson.
And just whips into that one and over that end section.
Beautiful carve there from Parko.
Heritage Sheet goes to Joel Parkinson.
Women's semifinal number 1. Bettylou is pleading for the blocking call. Sally survives the next generation.
In the tune, he's racing down the wall. Stands by for the big missile.
Your 2025 Bonsoy Gold Coast champion, Bettylou Sakura Johnson.
Filipe Toledo is successfully taken out the win. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.